Welcome to the Wrestling Replay. It's Kato. I hope everyone has had a wonderful weekend. We had a nice pay-per-view to go ahead and top it off for us. So let's go ahead and jump into our WarGames replay for the week. All right. I've been on record saying I don't know if last year's women's WarGame match could ever be topped, could ever be matched, but this year WarGames definitely gave it a run for its money. Now, I don't know if it topped it. I would have to watch it back to back and watch them both, in the same day at the same time, for the fact that this women's WarGame match, with it kicking off the show and the excitement of the pay-per-view, I was already amped up. So I'm not sure if I think it was truly better or if I was just so pumped up because the pay-per-view was beginning. But nonetheless, it was a really, really good match. You had Ember Moon and Dakota Kai kicking off the match, with Shotzi Blackheart joining next, actually giving the Ember Moon's team and the Blackheart team a one leg up on Dakota Kai before Raquel Gonzalez came and evened the odds. Now, let's talk about Raquel Gonzalez for a second. Ever since that one-on-one match with Rhea Ripley not too long ago, she's been on a roll. I mean, the things that she's been able to do in matches because of her power really sets her apart from a lot of women on the roster. And I mean the roster as a whole, from NXT, Raw, and SmackDown, really sets her apart. And I think she's going to have a really, really bright future. But, of course, to match that power and size, Rhea Ripley entered the cage next. Now, this is what we've been wanting to see. I think these two are going to have a really good long feud here in NXT. I was hoping that Rhea Ripley got called up, sooner than later. But seeing the quality of matches that she's able to have with Raquel, I wouldn't mind, slow rolling Rhea Ripley coming up to the main roster for a while, especially with Bianca Belair just getting in there, and she's garnering so much attention right now. But I would love to see this feud continue in NXT till at least next year. Maybe like cap off at WrestleMania or something like that, because this is a really good feud and they've been putting on really good matches anytime these two mix it up inside the ring. Now, as the WarGame match started to fill out, Io Shirai had an issue of getting inside the cage. It was a smart move on Raquel Gonzalez's part. She pretty much held that cage door shut, and every time she tried to get in, she just denied her entry. Problem being, once we had 7 participants inside of the cage, the match still couldn't officially start because Io Shirai still never made her way in. But she made her way in a big way. If you missed this spot, you have to go back and watch it. Io Shirai actually went to the top of the cage, put a trash can around herself, and just launched herself into the ring. From the top of the cage, I've never seen nothing like that. Just blindly, just jumping off into the match, taking out everyone at the same time. It was a pretty amazing sight to see. Now, this women's match, I will say they had spots that I've never seen before. And I feel like the more and more women matches happen on pay-per-view and they start to go all out, the more and more you see these women do things you have never seen done before. And I don't mean done by just a woman or inside a women's match. I mean things you have never seen done before. Like Ember Moon hitting that Eclipse on 2 chairs to Dakota Kai. That was amazing. Never seen that done before. She hit the Eclipse off the top rope onto 2 chairs. That was pretty dope, man. Blackheart coming off the ladder onto Candice LaRae, having a chair on her. We've seen stuff like that before, but it was still a huge spot in that match. And then the way the match ended with Raquel Gonzalez once again showing that power bombing Io Shirai through a ladder off the second turnbuckle. What? Wait a minute. Did this match actually beat out 2019's women's WarGame match? Or was it me? Was it my excitement just too high through the roof? I don't know. But that spot to end the match was absolutely insane. That was a really good match. That was a really good way to kick off the show. These women definitely set the tone once again for the pay-per-view and what you can expect going forward. So right there alone, I know the men are in the back looking like, look, guys, we got to go ahead and amp it up. Whatever we had drawn out, let's go ahead and add a few extra little spots in there because these women are trying to steal the spotlight once again. and they did a damn good job, man. I really enjoyed that match thoroughly. Shout out to all the women that was actually part of that match. You put on a hell of a match, ladies. Next, we had Timothy Thatcher versus Tommaso Ciampa. Now, you already know what you're going to get with these two guys, period. Hard-hitting, physical matchup. All right, hard-hitting, physical matchup, and that's exactly what we got. Now, this match pretty much came about simply because Tommaso Ciampa just wanted to fight Thatcher. That's the type of guy Tommaso Ciampa is. They did not disappoint. They gave us everything we thought we was going to get, and Thatcher showed exactly why he is the human torture machine as he picked apart Tommaso Ciampa, constantly working on that neck that had Tommaso Ciampa out for so long. But we all know there's no quitting Ciampa, man. No quit. His heart was on full display, rallying back, and he actually managed to pick up the win after hitting a Willow's Bell on the Thatcher from the outside of the ring to inside the ring. Thatcher actually split his ear pretty bad, man. So that just goes to show exactly how physical that these two were during the match, to just get your ear split open like that. Now, can you just imagine if these two guys was on the same page? Like, imagine if these two guys was actually a tag team going forward in NXT. But nonetheless, I think this feud has come to a head, but I'm not sure, because I don't know if Timothy Thatcher is the type to just, take a loss to them down. His mental space, his mentality isn't the type to just take a loss and just keep moving and go on to the next thing. We also seen the vulture that was inside the NXT arena tonight. We all know what that means. You see the TikTok, fall and pray. It's Karrion Kross back, man. Is he putting that roster on notice saying, hey, remember what happened the first time he came? I was taking everybody out left and right. Does he want that NXT title back? Finn Balor better have some eyes on the back of his head, man, because we all know how Karrion Kross get down, and you don't know when he's going to strike. Now, the next match, we had Cameron Grimes and Dexter Lumis in the strap match, which was actually a really good match. I think this was actually the best match that I've seen Cameron Grimes in so far since he has joined NXT. Definitely his best match that he had so far with Dexter Lumis. Now, this feud has been going on for months. I mean, we've seen these guys in so many different type of matchups leading up to this strap match, which I think finally ended the feud for these two. I think Lumis is finally ready to move on, because it feels like it's not over with Lumis until Lumis decides that it's over. So tonight, he put Cameron Grimes to sleep once again in a great strap match. It was a really, really good match. I advise everyone to just go check out this pay-per-view. If you missed it, please go check it out. You will not be disappointed. But nonetheless, Dexter Lumis tapped Cameron Grimes out for another win. Grimes just can't seem to solve the puzzle that is Dexter Lumis, and I think he'll be going back to the drawing board, because Dexter Lumis looked like he's primed for a bigger role. Maybe he has his eyes on that North American Championship. That will be a good match between him and the champion. So let's go ahead and roll into that match right now, because we had a triple threat between Leon Ruff, Damian Priest, and Johnny Gargano. Now, Johnny Gargano is trying to set a record, become the North American champion for the third time. Leon Ruff is trying to prove to everyone that, look, I belong here. I'm truly a champion. And Damian Priest, he just wants to regain this championship and punish Johnny Gargano. Now, Priest attempted early on in the match to take it easy on Ruff, just trying to get him out the way. He was pretty much just annoyed by Ruff. Like, look, dude, I don't want to hurt you. You don't belong in this match. At one point, he even told the kid to go home, man. But nonetheless, Leon Ruff, man, he kept fighting. He kept interjecting himself into this match between Johnny and Damian Priest. And even at one point, him and Johnny both double teaming Damian Priest to get some offense going. Now, the match would take a turn for the worse for Leon Ruff when Damian Priest finally had enough. He was fed up, and he actually gave a razor's edge to Leon Ruff through the barricade, all right, through that plexiglass, through the barricade. A few minutes in the back, he returned back to the match, and he was actually on fire for a little bit. But to be honest, it was Damian Priest who flat out dominated this match throughout the whole entire match. Even when these masked men, you had 6 masked assailants on the side of Johnny Gargano, tried to interject themselves in the match, Damian Priest took them all out. It wasn't until that last guy came and hit Damian Priest with a lead pipe, which is all legal in a triple threat match because there's no disqualification. Him neutralizing Damian Priest finally allowed Johnny Gargano put away Leon Ruff and regain that North American Championship. Now it was finally revealed who that masked man was. We know that India Hartwell was on Candice LaRae's side. It would actually be Austin Theory on the side of Johnny Gargano. Many did speculate it was Austin Theory, so it's nice to finally put a face behind the mask and see who it was this whole time. So it looks like Austin Theory and Johnny Gargano better watch their back, because you know Priest is not going to take this laying down. We finally get to our main event of the evening, the men's WarGames match. I mean, Undisputed Era versus Team McAfee. Now, we had O'Reilly and Dunn kick off the match, which was kind of a continuation from the qualifying match that these two had. These two has been on fire. Like, I could watch these two wrestle one-on-one day in, day out, every day of the week. These guys know how to bring it in ring. Their ability is just, just so much above the rest, man. But this was another pretty good match. Pat McAfee was actually the last member of his team to enter the cage, and he came in with a vengeance. He came in with tables, with all the Undisputed Era names on them. He came in with chairs. You had Danny Burch introducing cricket bats into the match. So it definitely got violent in a hurry. Now, I was really impressed by McAfee, man. Like, we already know that he's an athlete, right? But the things he was doing during this match, he kind of reminded me of Shane McMahon in a way. Shane McMahon is fearless. I don't care what you say about him as far as being a wrestler or his in-ring ability. He is fearless. And Pat McAfee showed that same type of fearlessness in this match tonight. I mean, he had a swanton bomb off the top of the cage. The moonsault he hit through the table. He took bumps of his own. He went through a table. So he was fearless. And he took some really big bumps. So I was really impressed by him tonight. I wouldn't mind seeing him and Shane McMahon, but Shane McMahon is a little bit older now, so I don't know if he want to even put his body through, what he normally put his body through when he decides to actually get in there and wrestle. Now, Cole was the last man into the cage, and he pretty much came in. The whole Undisputed Era was laid out, but he cleaned house with a steel chair and a fire extinguisher. That's all he needed. He cleared house, evened the odds up, and Undisputed Era went on to win that match. They went on to put away Team McAfee and finally was able to put a rest to McAfee and his whole game. But I do not think it's over. I do not think it's over. I don't know if Pat McAfee will still be a part of it, but there's no way that O'Reilly and Pete Dunne are done, because the fact that Pete Dunne turned on O'Reilly when he thought he had an ally, that's going to stick with O'Reilly. And I don't think O'Reilly really got the revenge he was looking for. Those tag team championship belts are still over there with Pat McAfee's team. I know the Undisputed Era will definitely want to get those tag team goals back. Now, the only way I see them not actually pursuing anything is if these guys finally make a move to the main event roster. If they finally make a move to SmackDown or Raw. We know Royal Rumble's right around the corner. We always get some surprise entries in the Royal Rumble. So how cool would it be if the whole Undisputed Era actually entered the Royal Rumble, maybe allowing Adam Cole to win and move on to get a championship shot? That would be pretty awesome. That would be a shocker. That would be a surprise. I wouldn't mind to see these guys move up to the main roster. I think they're pretty much ready. I think they've done all they can actually do in NXT, and NXT is actually in good hands. If these guys left, they're in good hands. It's a lot of great talent down there right now. I wouldn't mind to see Undisputed Era move up. But nonetheless, the WarGames pay-per-view was an awesome pay-per-view. Every single match delivered tonight. Everybody put on a hell of a show, man. That was an awesome pay-per-view. If you did not go see it, please go take some time out your day and go check that out before Wednesday, before NXT, because that's when I'm pretty sure a lot of other questions will be answered. All right, so I'm going to have a full breakdown of the WarGames show inside of the description down below. You know how I do. Let me know what you guys think about the WarGames match. Let me know what's your favorite match of the night. Let me know if you think this 2020 Women's WarGame match beat out that 2019 Women's WarGame match. Also, let me know if you think this style, for all my older fans, if you think this style of the WarGames match was better than a WCW style WarGame match. I enjoy both. I think they both bring a different, a different style to the actual match. So I pretty much enjoy both. But let me know what you guys think. Please, if you haven't already, hit that like button. It costs you nothing. It means the world to me. Please subscribe and turn on your notifications. And I'll see you guys for the Monday Night Raw replay, which will be coming up soon. All right, I'm Kato. I'm signing out. Peace.